Chapter 6, My Grandpa's Wallet. I kept my pen in my pocket the whole rest of the day. I didn't want people to see it, or else they might tattletale to Mrs., and she would make me take it to Lost and Found. I behaved myself very good, because I didn't want to attract attention, that's why. I kept my hand in my pocket so that my pen wouldn't fall out. Also, I kept thinking about my mittens, because I still miss those furry guys. I put my head down on the table. Maybe Grandpa Miller might buy me some more furry mittens, because that would be the perfect solution, I think. I raised up my head. Hey, yeah, then I would have wonderful new mittens plus a wonderful new pen. And so what more can a girl ask for? That's what I'd like to know. I sat up in my chair and I tapped on Lucille. Guess what, Lucille? Maybe my Grandpa Frank Miller might buy me some new mittens, and then all of my troubles would be all over. Lucille said, whoop-de-doo for me. I know what whoop-de-doo is, I said, real thrilled, and so thank you for your support. After school, me and my bestest friend named Grace rode the bus together. I runned home from the corner like a speedy bullet. My Grandpa Frank Miller was babysitting my brother named Ollie. Grandpa Frank Miller, Grandpa Frank Miller, Grandpa Frank Miller, we gotta go to the mitten store. We gotta go to the mitten store, I hollered real loud. Grandpa Frank Miller was in the living room rocking Ollie. He looked funny at me. Go where? He asked. To the mitten store, to the mitten store. We gotta go to the mitten store. I pulled on his hand. Get up, get up, get up, let's go. Get a wiggle on it. Grandpa Miller looked confused at me. That's how come I had to sit down, and I had to tell him what happened at school. Someone stole my mittens, I said. They stole them while I was being brownie, and I didn't even know there were crooks at that place. Grandpa Frank Miller shook his head very sad. I guess you can find crooks almost anywhere, honey. I know it, I told him. That's how come I'm never going to see those furry guys again, and so you and me have to go to the mitten store. I felt in his back pocket. Then I danced around real thrilled. Hooray, I shouted, hooray for your big fat wallet. 'Cause you got cash in there, right, Grandpa? Right? Grandpa Miller laughed. I do have cash, all right, he said, but I'm afraid we won't be able to go buy you more mittens. The mittens I bought were the only furry ones they had left. I bought the very last pair. Just then, all the happy went right out of me, because I didn't actually count on this terrible development. Yeah, only we have to, Grandpa, or we have to buy more furry mittens, or else what will I even do? Grandpa Miller ruffled my hair. Did you look in the Lost and Found at school? He asked. I did a sad breath. Yeah, only that dumb thing doesn't work that good, because people don't always turn stuff in. I patted my new pen in my pocket. Trust me on this, I said real soft. Well, your mittens could still turn up, he said. Folks will surprise you sometimes. Then he told me a story about his wallet. A few years ago, I lost my wallet at the mall. I was sure I would never see it again. I bobbed my head up and down. I know. That's because of finders keepers and losers weepers. Finders keepers, losers weepers is the rule, right, Grandpa? Grandpa Miller smiled. Well, it might be the rule for some people, but luckily it's not the rule for everyone. Because the very next day, when I went out to get my mail, there it was, my wallet sitting right smack in the middle of my mailbox, and not one single penny was missing. His eyes looked happy and sparkly. Can you imagine that, little girl? He asked. Someone had the chance to take everything in my wallet, but instead they drove all the way to my house and they put it in my mailbox. Just then he reached in his back pocket and he pulled out his wallet. Look what I would have lost if they hadn't have turned it in, he said. He took a picture out of his wallet and he handed it to me. It's you and a baby, I said. But that's not just any baby, he said. That's you, Junie B. That's a picture of the very first time I ever held you. He took the picture back and he stared at it. Nicest thing a stranger ever did for me, bringing this picture back. Then he leaned over and he kissed me on my head. Aww. Chapter 7, The Pink Fluffy Girl. After I talked to Grandpa, I went to my room. I closed the door real soft. And then I took the wonderful pen out of my pocket and I did a big sigh. Because I had confusion in me, that's why. I wish I never would have heard that wallet story, because finders keepers, losers weepers isn't the rule apparently, and so now maybe I might be a crook. I looked at my wonderful pen. Yeah, only I don't even feel like a crook. I feel like a lucky duck. But I still have to take this thing to Lost and Found probably, and then it will go to the waste, just like the teddy backpack. All of a sudden, I heard Mother and Daddy come home from work. I quick hid my pen under my mattress, because those two would not understand any of this attention. Then they came in my room and they kissed me hello, and I told them what happened with my mittens. Then I begged and I begged for them to take me to the store, but Mother said, "There's no more left," and Daddy said, "There's no more left too." And so there was no more left apparently. That's how come I got depressed all over again, and I couldn't even sleep good that night. I kept on wondering about who was the mitten crook and what did he look like, and I've seen crooks on TV before, and they're biggish and meanish with tattoos on themselves. Just then I sat up in my bed, because a good idea popped into my head, that's why. Hey, a tattoo is easy to spot, I bet, and so maybe I can find that crook on the playground tomorrow. After that, I went straight to sleep, because I would need the strength for some good crook looking. The next day at recess, I didn't play horses with Lucille and that Grace. Instead, I run all around the playground looking for the mitten crook. Only too bad for me, because most of the children had their jackets on, and so I couldn't even see any crooks with tattoos. Pretty soon the bell rang. That's when my eyes got tears in them, because I would never see my mittens again, not ever, ever, never. I started walking to room 9. My nose was sniffling and drippity. I wiped it on my attractive jacket sleeve, and then all of a sudden, a pink fluffy girl skipped past me. She had on a pink fluffy dress with pink fluffy socks and shoes and a pink fluffy jacket made of pink fluffy fur. And guess what else? She had black furry mittens in her pink fluffy pockets. My eyes got big and wide. "Hey! My mittens! My mittens!" I screamed real loud. Then I put my head down and I zoomed at her like a speeding bull. Mrs. saw me running. She grabbed me by my attractive winter jacket and I jumped up and down and I pointed. "That pink fluffy girl stole my mittens. She's the crook. Only her jacket is covering up her tattoo, and that's why it had me stumped." Mrs. called to the pink fluffy girl. She skipped over to where we were, and I kept on jumping. "You stole them. You stole my mittens," I said. "No, I didn't," she said back. "I didn't steal anything. I found these mittens. They were right there in the grass, and so I thought nobody wanted them." "I did," I yelled. "I wanted them. My Grandpa Miller got them for me for no good reason. And I have been worrying about them all day and all night, and that is called heartache, madam." Mrs. said to hush my voice. She took my mittens away from the pink fluffy girl and gave them back to me. Then she bended down and she talked to the pink fluffy girl real serious. "Even if you thought no one wanted these mittens, it was wrong of you to take them," she told her. The pink fluffy girl pointed at me. "But she didn't even take good care of them," she said. I stamped my foot. "Yes, I did. I did too take good care of them. I left them with my attractive winter jacket because I didn't even know there were crooks at this place." Mrs. said hush to me again. "You should have taken them to Lost and Found," she told the pink fluffy girl. "Yeah, because then you would have found them where I looked there. And so who do you think you are? And what do you think that box is even there for? My health?" The pink fluffy girl started to cry. "But I really, really love them," she said. Mrs. smoothed her hair. "I'm afraid that's not the issue," she said. "Yeah, we're afraid that's not the issue," I said, because finders keepers isn't the rule apparently, and so from now on, if you find my stuff, you have to take it to Lost and Found. Plus, also, you can put it in my grandpa's mailbox. Mrs. looked at me for a real long time. She said I am getting on her nerves. After that, she held the pink fluffy girl's hand and they went to talk to her teacher. I quick put my mittens on and I buried my face in that black furry fur and I danced around real joyful. Chapter 8. I am not a crook. The next day, I went to principal's office. The grouchy typing lady looked over at the counter at me. I rocked my feet back and forth. "Yeah, only I'm not even bad again," I said. "I just need to go to the Lost and Found, and that's all." The grouchy typing lady opened up the closet and she pulled out a big box. Just then the phone rang and she hurried up to answer it. I quick bended down and I digged my hands into the Lost and Found. Then my heart got very thrilled because I saw that wonderful teddy backpack again. That's why. I snuggled my face in his tummy. I still love this softy guy," I whispered. I put him on my back and I skipped all around. The grouchy typing lady hanged up the phone. "Did you lose that too?" she asked me. "Is that why you're here?" I kept on standing there and standing there. "Well," she said. Finally, I did a big sigh. Then I walked slowly back to the box, and I took off the teddy backpack. No, I said. Not why. After that, I reached in my pocket and I pulled out my wonderful pen. I found this, I said. It was on the floor by the water fountain, and I really, really love it, only that is not the issue. Then I did a big, deep breath, and I dropped my wonderful pen into the lost and found. I am not a crook, I said. The grouchy typing lady looked nicer at me, and she ruffled my hair. No, she said, of course you're not a crook. After that, I rocked back and forth on my feet some more, and I waited and I waited. The typing lady raised up her eyes at me. I'm waiting for the grin, I explained. Only there seems to be a delay. She laughed right out loud, and that's when I felt it. The grin. It came right on my face. Hey, it's working, I said real squilly. I skipped all around the office, very happy. And then the typing lady opened up the door, and I skipped all the way back to room 9. And guess what? I didn't even find a pen that writes with 4 different colors. And that was a big relief. The end. All right, so did you like the way that the book ended? You can choose that you can write about or tell about the end of the story the way you would have liked it to end, or you can talk about the beginning, middle, and end of the story. But the most important thing is that you love reading. And I hope that you enjoy books over the summer, reading with your parents, and also in kindergarten. You guys will be reading big books like this. So enjoy, and I love ya. Bye.